What's up, brothers? Hope everybody's doing well out there. Today's video request comes from a subscriber who wants me to talk about why women make men wait for sex. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. And as I get this one started, let me start out by saying I'm not a woman, so I can't give you exactly what's going on in a woman's head from a woman's perspective, but I can give you some advice based on a man's perspective who's dealt with a lot of women. Now, the number one thing that you need to understand is no woman in the history of the world has ever made a man wait for sex. You know, she's going to move at whatever speed she wants to move at, and if she's not moving at the speed you want her to move at, it's well within your rights to move along, to leave her and find somebody else. But if you determine that she is worth the wait, then it's well within your right to be patient. Now, the manosphere will warp your brain and have you thinking in a perverted, bizarre, hookup culture type of way. And that's fine if you're a guy that just wants to hook up. You know, if you just want to be on the dating apps or at the nightclubs, cold approaching and hooking up. I'm not here to judge you. I was there once as well. When I was 21, that's exactly what I was doing. So I'm not here to judge you. And the manosphere can probably help you out quite a bit in that area. Or at least it can put the battery in your back, give you some confidence to go out there, give you a sense of urgency to go out there and accomplish what you want to accomplish. But in terms of relationships, it's a completely different story, okay? Now, if you're a guy and in your head you have this theory that women are supposed to have sex with you within a certain time frame, like by the third date or by the first month or something of that nature, you are the epitome of pussy on a pedestal mentality, because you're viewing sex as a reward that women are supposed to give you in X amount of time based on your behaviors. You know, if you behave a certain way, you believe women are supposed to give you sex. When in reality, sex is not something that a woman gives a man. Women are not the gatekeepers of sex. That's a bullshit theory. Sex is an act that a man and a woman do together. It's not something she gives you or you give her. It's something the two of you do together. And when you reach a point when you're both ready and willing to have consensual sex and express the fact that you're attracted to each other and aroused by each other or emotionally connected to each other, whatever it may be, when you reach a stage where you're both consensual, when you're both ready, it'll happen. You know, but you got to understand, certain women move at different speeds, you know, and based on the attraction or based on the connection that she has with a specific guy, that speed may change. So just to put this in perspective, as a man, if I meet a woman that is easy, you know, she's kind of a slut. I know she's a club chick. I know she likes to get drunk. I know she gets around. I'm going to view that as a woman that there's no pressure. There's no anxiety. You know, I have no reason to be nervous or to hold back with this girl, because I know she's just a neighborhood bicycle. So I may have sex with that girl on the first night with no problem. But if I'm dating a girl that I really like, you know, we may go out the first night and I'm enjoying my time with her. Maybe we get a drink. You know, maybe we're out dancing or listening to music. You know, maybe we go to the fair. Maybe we go to, you know, some sort of an event. I don't know. I'm enjoying my time with her and I'm getting to know her. You know, if we have sex on the first night, so be it. If we don't, I don't care. It doesn't measure my manhood. It doesn't it's not a unit of measurement for my masculinity. You know, if we don't have sex on the second date or the third date, I'm still having a good time. I don't give a damn. I'm getting to know her. That's the way that it's going to go. And when we reach a point where we're both, you know, ready and willing to have consensual sex, we will do that. So I don't view sex as some sort of victory or some sort of prize. You know, there's women I've known since elementary school that I've never had sex with. There's women I've literally never met, but I went on Tinder, swiped on them, invited them over to my place, and had sex with them right then and there, without even knowing their names. You know, different people move at different speeds, and different connections have, you know, different things at stake, so to say. Another thing that I'll say is most women's biggest fear in relationships and dating is to fall in love with a man and give her body to him and then find out that he was actually a user. You know, he was a con artist, he was a manipulator, he pretended to like her, he got what he wanted, and then he moves along, you know, breaking her heart. That's something women try to avoid at all costs. Now, here's another thing I'll say from my perspective. And before I get into this, I want to say I will acknowledge, you know, the red pill pickup artist, manosphere, incel ideology that women hook up with attractive men and they make unattractive men wait. I'll acknowledge that, but it's not entirely true. You can be an extremely hot Giga Chad, and if she has a deep emotional connection to you, she might be a little scared and she might be hesitant to move quick. It just depends on the girl. So it might make, you know, if you're a superstar, you know, high status, attractive superstar, it might take you a really long time to get a girl to sleep with you every now and then because, you know, she's got to build up that comfort level and, you know, be ready to have sex with you. Whereas if you were a low value guy, she wouldn't be too nervous. She would just make that shit happen. Now, here's the biggest point that I want to make in this video. And there's a reason why I said I can't say this from a woman's perspective. I can only say this from a man's perspective. But here's my perspective as a man based on my experience. I've had two women who have, as you would say, made me wait for sex. In all actuality, they didn't make me wait. Okay, we were just, I stayed with them even though we weren't having sex. That's how I would put it. One of those women, we waited 8 months to have sex, and we ended up staying together for 10 years. The second woman that made me wait for sex, we waited about 4 months, and we were together for 4 years. Now, there was actually a third woman that made me wait. We waited about 3 months, and I ended up losing interest in her. And then she came back, and you know, she still had interest in me. And for whatever reason, I ended up having sex with her. And I had to break her heart afterwards. You know, I tried everything. I tried to say, hey, you know, let's just forget about what we had. Let's just be friends. You know, let's just try to start over and pretend like we didn't have sex. It was impossible for me to do that. Because the second my penis went inside of her, I changed her. She had an emotional connection. Despite what a lot of dating coaches tell you, a woman's arousal center and her emotional center are the same damn thing. Okay, and if a woman likes you, when you stick your penis inside of her, she is giving herself up to you. She's giving her body to you. And the last thing she wants is for you to reject her and leave her. You know, that's one of a woman's biggest fears, in my opinion. I can't say exactly because I'm not a woman, but based on what I've seen, that hurts women worse than anything else. For her to fall in love with you, to give her body up to you, and for you to just dump her and leave her high and dry. Now, another thing that I'll say is, like I said, when you put your penis inside of her, that's a big deal. That's a changer of things. Sex complicates things. And if you don't believe that sex complicates things, have sex with one of your coworkers and tell me if that complicated the job. Have sex with the girl at the gym and tell me if that complicates your time at the gym. Sex complicates things. It does. Because it changes the dynamic that you have with that person. That woman starts to feel like, she's your woman, and she wants more of your attention, and she wants to feel loved by you. And if it was just supposed to be a one-time thing, it's really going to complicate things. Now, that's what happens when you stick your penis inside of a woman. Now, as a man, I can tell you another thing. There's 2 major moments during sex that a woman is going to experience. The first is when you stick your penis inside of her, because that's what changes her. The second is when you pull your penis out of her. And I'm dead serious. This may sound kind of strange, but I don't know if you've ever looked at a woman's face when you pull your penis out of her. She has this look on her face, like, please don't leave me. Please stay with me. Please don't let this be the end. Because, again, I just think it's that internal fear, that internal nightmare that women have about being in love with a man, giving her body up to him, and him leaving her forever. And, I suppose, with that being said, that's the main point right there. Women cannot make you wait for sex. It's up to you to determine if you think she's worth the wait. And, in terms of whether I believe that, it's a good strategy for a woman to make a man wait for sex, I can only tell you from my experience. I've hooked up with many, many women on dating apps, from nightclubs, from parties, from just random hookups and things. And I have never, ever taken a woman seriously that I hooked up with on the first night. Never. And I'm only speaking for myself, but every single woman that I've had sex with on the first night, regardless of how hot she was, regardless of how perfect of a woman she was, I have never taken her serious if we had sex on the first night. But the 2 women that made me wait the longest are the 2 women that I took the most serious. And that's a fact of my life that I can't change, and I can't tell you exactly why it worked out that way, but it did. And I don't think it necessarily had anything to do with the amount of time that we waited. I think it was the value system and the structure of the relationships that we built. The girl that I was with for 10 years, we spent that 8 months, instead of having sex, we were getting to know each other's families. We were getting to know where each other grew up at, and our interests that we had, and where we wanted to go with our lives, and we were taking the time to go out and have a good time together and enjoy each other's company and really just getting to know each other. So we had built a solid foundation to have a relationship, and I wish her a lot of luck, and I hope she's doing well, but she really did things the right way. I don't think very many women out there are capable of doing things the right way nowadays. So the last thing that I'll say is I want you guys to always remember, it's okay to watch manosphere content, dating coaches and red pill and pickup artists, but I can tell you 100% without a doubt, I don't think very many dating coaches are qualified to talk about what they're talking about. I think most of these guys saw some other content creator or read some book, and they sparked a light bulb in their own head and decided to make a YouTube channel and decided to turn it into a business. But in reality, they're not really qualified to talk about what they're talking about. And their whole concept on the way intersexual dynamics work is strictly related to this animalistic mentality where they think men are just these dogs that run around humping everything, and they believe that the pussy is on a pedestal and it's just a prize that alpha males get and hot guys get and bad boys get and nice guys don't get. But life is a lot more complex than that. You know, if you're a person out there that wants some sort of a relationship that's actually meaningful, you're going to have to take a different approach. You know, you can't view sex as transactional, as something that if you behave a certain way and have a certain amount of sex appeal, that you deserve sex. You know, because that's essentially the mindset that most dating coaches are teaching you. And that's not a very good mindset to have. It's going to make you look foolish. But, you know, if you meet women, you go out with women, you get to know women, and you don't really give a damn if the two of you are having sex or not, but you just have a good time, you get to know each other, you enjoy what you're doing, and you don't view sex as an accomplishment, you know, that if you get, you're successful, and if you don't get, you're unsuccessful. That's not the way it is. Just enjoy your time that you spend with women. And I'll tell you one thing, when you do that, that's when they really want to have sex with you. You know, when a woman feels comfortable, like she's really enjoying the time she spends with you, that's when she's going to develop that deeper connection with you. And when she has that deep connection with you, sex is almost a prize for her. You know, when a woman's in love with you, she needs that sex in order to feel loved, in order to feel wanted, in order to feel special. I've never viewed sex, in a 10-year relationship, I never viewed sex as a prize for me, as something that, you know, if I was a good boy, I would get. I viewed it as a reward for her, to make her feel special, to make her feel wanted, to make her feel sexy. And I think when you have that mindset, you're going to get a lot of sex. That's just my 2 cents. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut this one off, but I hope this video was somewhat informative. Peace.
Subscribe to the channel.
To the window, to the wall, until the sweat drops down my balls, until all you bitches crawl. Oh, skeet, skeet, goddamn.